Welcome back, baseball fans, as we continue our Out of the Park 26 Legends in the Making playthrough, where we are going from 1921 up to 2025. We are about to enter a new era when we get into the 1950s. Before we get to 1950 and explore the statistics and where we're at, we're not in 1950 yet. We're going to do the first year player draft. We are drafting at the end. We did win the World Series. We had 100 wins again. So when we look and we see who's out there for us, it won't be a lot of people for us, but let's see who the big stars are on this one. Mickey Mantle, there we go. So the Mick is here. Ed Bailey, Ken Boyer, Bob Friend. Let's see who else we got. I'm not recognizing Roger Craig. I know the football player, but not this one. Not a lot of depth to this one. So we'll see where the Mick goes. So let's go ahead and see. I'm guessing he's going to go to the Boston Braves, and he does. Detroit takes Ed Bailey. Wally Moon goes to the Reds. Bob Serve to the Yankees. Pete Reynolds to the Phillies. Bob Friend, I was hoping he'd fall back, but the Pirates get him. Brooklyn gets Jim Archer. Cleveland gets Red Witt. The Giants take Ryan Duran. The Senators get Jerry Lynch. The A's, Frank Larry, Bill Verdon. In the Browns, the Red Sox get Vic Power. Chicago takes Don McMahon. The other Chicago, the Cubs get Dick Gernert. The A's take Norm Larker. We are recommended to take Charlie Neal. Had a nice little run in the 50s of playing, but he didn't really do a whole lot. But then again, Kim Boyer's the one that I do kind of recognize. Oh, and he was a Cardinal anyways, and he has a long career as a Cardinal. That would be why I recognize it. 2,000 hits. We're going to take Ken Boyer. I don't care if we need a third baseman or not. So we're going to go through the rest of the offseason. Then we'll take a look at where we are going into 1950 with the statistics and see what the career leaders are like and where things shape up. Opening day, 1950. We have a new decade, and we are going to start off against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Our lineup this season is going to be Phil Rizzuto, Eddie Stanky, Stan Musial, Campanella, Vic Wertz, Monty Irvin, Hank Majeski, Roy Sievers. This is going to change a little bit. Sievers is maybe going to get dropped for Furillo. The only reason why Furillo is not right now is because center field is not his strong suit at the moment. Neither is it Hank's, and neither is it Vic's. So I'm not really sure, but I don't know that Roy Sievers is going to be the quality we need. So we're probably going to change him pretty quick and move Furillo in there and move this order around a little bit. Greenberg might get in at first base at times as well. So we'll see, because Hank's still there and he's slugging, and I want to see what he can do as far as home runs go. Pitching-wise, we got Warren Spahn, early win. Luis Tiant at 43. Preacher Rowe. Satchel Paige is going to be our closer. Sal Magley's chomping to get in there as well, but he can't get in over these other guys who are just so good. So we'll see. We might even make a fifth starter for them. I'm not sure yet. But that's where we're at as far as that goes. Now, when we look at the Hall of Fame results, Joe Cronin made it on his first year, as he should, and Charlie Root finally making it in. Bill Terry was just shy. So close. Nobody else. George Scales was close. Earl Combs was close, but then everybody else was quite a bit off. I don't see any big names from ours as far as anybody's, but yeah. 100 prospects. The top ones going into the season are Smokey Burgess and Willie Mays. We don't have anybody because we've been drafting too far down the list. When we go to the award winners from last year, we see that the Gold Glove in the AL, Hal Newhouser again, that is his fourth one. Yogi Berra, Roy Cullenbine, Jerry Coleman, Bankhead Wilson, Hermansky, Dom DiMaggio. That's his 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one. Is he on the Hall of Fame monitor? Oh, he is not. Yeah, he doesn't have quite the totals probably needed, but he's still playing, so he might actually get some votes. In the NL, Harry Breachin, Roy Campanella, yet again, Mickey Vernon, Tommy Butts, Radcliffe, Al Rosen, Sam Chapman, Bud Sushek, and Wally Westlake, the guy who derailed Musial's Triple Crown run out of nowhere. Reliever of the year in the AL goes to ball player Gonzalez, whoever he is, unanimously. 20 saves, 8-7. And Satchel Paige gets it unanimously with his 19 saves, 10-4 record, 2.47 ERA. That's got to get him up there. Gets him yet another award. He's now won Reliever of the Year, 3 Cy Youngs, Rookie of the Year, 9-time All-Star. Yeah, he'll get in. It's a matter of it's first ballot or not, but he's still going to be closing for us again, so he's got a chance to do it again. AL, the Gold Glove or the Silver Sluggers go to Red Munger from hitting .394 for the Philadelphia A's as pitcher. Les Moss, George Crowe, Williams, Bob Elliott, Luke Appling's showing up. Ted Williams at .337 again. Joe DiMaggio again. In the NL, we have Monk Dubiel hitting .364 for the Giants. Roy Campanella hitting .301, beating out Josh Gibson. Sid Gordon, Jackie Robinson getting another one. What is that? His second one. George Kell, Vern Stevens, Del Ennis, Monte Irvin picking up his 4th one. He's won it at center field and shortstop. How about that? He's going to start getting some looks at the Hall of Fame soon as well, I would imagine, because he's going to pass the 1,000 runs, 1,000 RBI. He's going to probably get up there to 2,000 hits if things go well. I would imagine the 50s are where he shined in the majors when he got his chance. And then Stan Musial, right field, getting it yet again. Top rookie goes to Jerry Coleman in the AL, hitting .274, 55 RBIs, 4 home runs. Mel Queen gets it in the NL, going 5-8, 100 innings pitched, 4.59 ERA. AL's Cy Young goes to Vic Raschi at 13 first place votes, 15-10. Look at this symbol for the White Sox. I like how they change throughout the years as you do this as well. 2.68 ERA. In the NL, Luis Tiant in a super close one. 8 first place votes apiece. 1 point separated him and Spud Chandler. Luis Tiant picking it up. 22 wins. Finally gets some recognition. He's won 1 All-Star. Now he's getting some Hall of Fame metrics. And he's just going to add to that. He's going to get close to 2,000 strikeouts. He's getting 250 wins, hopefully. I mean, how does the guy not get in? He's still doing it. Preacher Rowe got some. Satchel Paige got some points, and Sal Magley as well. And Warren Spahn. Wow, we dominated that one. AL MVP goes to Hoot Evers, beating out Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio. Evers with 17 home runs, 111 RBIs, 325 average, 508 slugging. In the NL, who else? Stan Musial. He had a dominant season, if you recall. 32 home runs, 144 RBIs. He almost had 100 RBI by the All-Star break, it felt like. 373 average. He was flirting with 400 for a while. 639 slugging. So quite the season for him. Now, as we do whenever we start these, so we're going to do 2 seasons this time, 1950 and 1951. I'm hoping on my sake that as the 1950s go along, the end of the season start to progress a little bit, because I know a lot of these minor leagues are going to disappear in the mid-50s, and I hope they don't get replaced, because I think that's what's slowing down the processing once we get to August, September, November, as these are all ending and they're processing, and as they start to disappear, hopefully my computer will pick back up. But as we do on all of these, we have to look at the records as we enter a new decade. So single season batting, 1940, Vince DiMaggio took the lead for strikeouts. He's got the top 2. Did it again in 1945. I wonder batting average. Have we had anybody get anywhere up there in the 1940s? Nobody in the top 28 or top 30 for that matter. Home runs, or let's see, runs scored. 1941, Ted Williams had 154. He's number 18 on the list. Let's check hits. Nope. No one in the top 30. Home runs, we should see some. Josh Gibson with 1940, 43. He's 4th on the home run single season. He's also 20th, tied for it with several others in his 1941 season. Joe DiMaggio in 1940 as well. 1949, Wally Westlake. Ted Williams in 41. There's Gibson again. Let's see, as far as RBI go, no one up there. Musial should be up here. Yeah, there he is, 1949, 18th. Sam Thompson, Big Sam, still holds it. Stolen bases, I'm guessing no. We haven't hit any big stolen bases at this point. Wins above replacement, Ted Williams is our number one, beating out Babe Ruth. His 1920 season, 1941. Pete Reiser in 1941 as well. Joe DiMaggio in 1941. Joe Gordon in 1943. So several up there. When we look at the career batting average is Ty Cobb. No one active is up there. Oh, Ted Williams at 326 is in 28th. No one here. Gehrig's still holding strong there. Runs scored. Anybody challenging anything there? Archie Vaughn has 1,500. He's probably not got too much left in him. Hits. Luke Appling's about to cross 3,000 hits. Joe DiMaggio's getting close to 3,000 hits as well, so he might do it. Bill Dickey's getting up there. Josh Gibson. So we have some names up there. Let's check out doubles, because I'm thinking Musial has to be making a run. There's Archie Vaughn, Joe DiMaggio, and Bill Dickey. Luke Appling, Billy Herman. Musial's not up there yet. Ted Williams is. Maybe I missed him. Stan the Man, I thought for sure would be up there in doubles. Home runs, Babe Ruth. Josh Gibson is closing in on him, 43 behind. He's still got the power there. Will he play enough to pass him? It's probably going to take 2 seasons for him to do it, but we might have a new career home run king since the Babe couldn't live up to it. Joe DiMaggio is flirting with 400. Hank Greenberg's flirting with 300, but I don't know if he's going to get the at-bats. Johnny Mize and Ted Williams are also approaching 300. Bill Nicholson is barely topping 200, so lots of home run totals are down. RBI career, Josh Gibson's flirting with 2,000, chasing after the Babe there as well. Joe DiMaggio's in 17th. And that's all we have as far as that one goes. And win above replacement is Ty Cobb. Ted Williams is already 9th. Could make a run. Gibson and Appling, DiMaggio are up there. Archie Vaughn's up there. Bill Dickey. I would expect Stan Musial to show up eventually. Pitching-wise, 1949, Joe Page for 85 games. 40's a few of them, because we have our relievers now coming in now. Shutouts. Do we have anybody with shutouts getting up there? Nope. Oh, 1943, Butch Winslow. Don't know him. We've got strikeouts in a season. Matt Kilroy, 1880. Look at these. Toad Ramsey. These, I just heard about these guys on the podcast. Well, when we go below them, I mean, it takes a lot to find anybody. No one out. Bob Feller, 239. Did he not have above that? Wow. May have missed it. Wins, nobody's going to get close to that. Wins above replacement. No one as far as single season. But career might be where things change. Wins, who are active career? Satchel Paige with 304. Ray Brown is getting close for Philadelphia. Larry French is getting close as well. Look at that. Dehigo ended up with 275. Luis Tiant has 240. So Satchel isn't going to have enough to catch up with Walter or any of those, but he is going to pass a few more on his way. When we look at career saves, Joe Cascarella continues to stretch his over Jumbo Brown. So now we're getting into where we'll have new guys doing this. Denny Galehouse has 78 for us, and he's never been like the main guy. Strikeouts career-wise, Satchel Paige is up there. He's still 900 away from Big Train Walter Johnson. Bob Feller's got 2,300, still a ways away. He's got some seasons maybe in him still. He starts to he flames out fairly early. Larry French is still doing 42, getting close to 2,000. Luis Tiant is number 25 there. And let's check out wins above replacement. Satchel Paige is 5th. Larry French, Ray Brown. So he's not going to catch him, but he could pass a few more, including Mathewson and Bill Foster. He could end up in the top 3. But that's where we stand as far as these results. Now, we're entering the 1950s. Historically, the 1950s were dominated by the New York teams. The Yankees won 6 World Series during this time. The Giants won 1. The Brooklyn Dodgers won 1. The Milwaukee Braves won 1 to split those up. And then to finish in 1959, you had the LA Dodgers winning a World Series, which I'm sure ripped the hearts out of Brooklyn fans after they waited so long and came so close so many times, finally winning one, only to see their team leave and then win again so quickly after that. Must have been crushing. So we will jump ahead and play out this season to see what we end up with. Well, at the All-Star break, we are 10 games up, having another phenomenal year. We are leading everything outside of the power numbers, not home runs, but we're doing well on some bases, base running, all of that. Bullpen's a little rough, but everything else is doing great. Defense is good and solid. So you can see here our lineup. Rizzuto's been leading off great. Musial's hitting 349. Power numbers aren't as high. Campanella's got the power, though. Monte Irvin was batting 523 games into the season. Furillo, we did put in there. He struggled early. We moved him out. Then we put him back in because Greenberg wasn't doing it. So people are hitting well. Pitching's doing great. Satchel Paige did get hurt for 6 weeks, but we're doing fine without him at the moment. He was struggling a little bit anyways. The Red Sox have a half-game lead in the AL over the Browns that Philadelphia Athletics are right behind as well. They just lost 3 in a row. Otherwise, they could be in first. We are running away. Only 2 teams have a 500 record or better, so everybody else is just losing to us, it looks like. When we look at the leaders, Ted Williams is leading with 354. Sam Harrison, Lou Boudreau are behind him. Joe DiMaggio with Luke Easter, 19 home runs. Williams has 16. Only 52 RBI, though. Roy Cullenbine is leading the way with 63 RBIs. Yogi Berra with 8 stolen bases, tied with Hank Thompson. Ted Williams is beating out DiMaggio on the OPS. Hank Thompson with batter leads the WAR. 17-game hitting streaks are high. ERA goes to Bill Worrell right now at 2.17, beating out Chuck Stobbs and Bob Chipman. Allie Reynolds and Chuck Stobbs both have 12 wins, and Allie Reynolds has 91 strikeouts, 2.99 ERA. So, this could change quite a bit. He might make a run at it. Dutch Leonard is leading in saves with 12, followed by Joe Page. Whitey Ford starting to show up now, starting in the bullpen. Larry French is leading in pitcher WAR, and then batting average. And the NL goes to Billy Goodman, followed by Al Zarilla. And then Stan Musial there in third. Sid Gordon is leading home runs with 19. Campanella and Gibson. Gibson is getting really close to passing the babe. And he's hitting 263 as well, so he's having a great season at 38 years old. Musial has 71 RBI, beating out his nemesis Wally Westlake by 1. Howard Easterling has 66. Sam Jethro and Jackie Robinson both have 13 stolen bases. Musial's not as high up as in the AL, but him and Campanella are competing for OPS right now. Batter award goes to Tommy Glaviano, the third baseman from Boston. And Stan Musial, 43. I remember we said the Milwaukee Braves. I forgot we're going to start seeing teams moving around, and the Dodgers. In this decade, they're going to be moving. And then in the 60s, I believe we're going to start seeing the new teams start to show up. So that's going to be exciting as we have some expansion going on and some realignment. Hitting streak, Bobby Doerr with 20-game hitting streak. Vern Stevens is currently on a 17. Majeski had an 18 one. ERA goes to Ewell Blackwell, who's having another fantastic season. Preacher Rowe is up there at 285. Spud Chandler, again, is up there at 42. He is... So in reality... He pitched and got 109 wins, 2.84 ERA, 614 strikeouts. For us, 183 wins, so it took him a while. 1,400 strikeouts. So he's struck out a lot more people, and he's doing better. In the wins goes to all of our guys, Tiant, Spawn, and Wynn. Strikeouts, Yule Blackwell beating out Warren Spahn at the moment. Frank Barnes with 13 saves, and Roy Henshaw. And then Yule Blackwell's beating out Warren Spahn and Spud Chandler for pitcher WAR. So that's where we're at the halfway mark. And now it's time to... we got to check on our All-Star teams. So the All-Star rosters. In the AL, Larry French, 42 years old. Vic Raschi, Diomedes Olivo gets the start. Joe Page as closer is recognized. Sam Hairston at catcher. Columbine at first. Hank Thompson at second. Bob Elliott at third. Buster Clarkson, Ted Williams, Dom and Joe DiMaggio. Bobby Thompson showing up. Johnny Hopp and Dale Mitchell. In the NL, we have Blackwell and Chandler getting the start. Donoso, Medina, Preacher Rowe, Warren Spahn, both for a Satchel Paige being recognized as a start, even though he's hurt in 7.11 ERA. Lon Warnicki, Campanella beating out Gibson again. Monte Irvin getting recognized at first base. Jackie Robinson at second. George Kell, Phil Rizzuto at short for us. Sid Gordon is up there. Stan Musial getting at left field. Larry Doby is having a good season. Wally Westlake is again, and Al Zarilla at right field. So that's where we are as we head into the rest of this season. Well, the 1950 season has wrapped up, and we are going to be going head-to-head against the Boston Red Sox. You can see here 108-46. This was our best season yet. 20 games ahead of the Cubs, who had a solid season. But when you're beating up on all these teams over and over again with only 8 teams in the league, that's why you can amass all these wins. You can see we dominated offensively, and even home runs we got up in the second, thanks to Musial, Campanella, and out of nowhere, Hank Greenberg with his 72 hits, 20 of them being home runs, 293 average, 61 games started. So he did fantastic. Tried to start him earlier in the season, but when he was starting, he was struggling. So him just coming in every once in a while just lit it up, and we can see he did reach the magic 300. He's at 301 home runs now. Didn't do a lot else, like not running the bases real well. RBI totals, I mean, he's in half of the games started, half the plate appearances, and he's just doing so much better than the last couple of seasons. So that's really awesome. I don't know how much more he has in him because he should have retired a few years ago, but he's still hitting the ball now. And now he's going to end up in the Hall of Fame for maybe. He's still close. So we did fantastic as far as that goes. The pitching was fantastic. You can see and defense, everything has been going great for us. So we're going to be going up against the Red Sox in this series, which if we take a look at it, they were first in runs scored in the AL. We were first in the NL, but 163 more runs scored. They were third in runs against. We were first in runs against. We allowed 70 fewer. So this one's going to be interesting. Now, when we look at team history, we are coming off of a championship season, our 7th. We are making our 13th trip to the World Series. They're making their 11th trip. First since 1940, though. So the 40s were a dry spell for the Red Sox. And they are trying to win their first since 1935 to make it their 7th and tie us in that, but in fewer trips to the World Series. So they've got Larry French, they've got Mike Garcia, Howie Pollitt, Tommy De La Cruz, Bobby Thompson is on their team, Luke Appling is on their team. So it's going to be interesting, but we're going to go and see how we do in this World Series. Well, it went to 6 games, but we were able to win. Both of our losses come in the hands. Warren Spahn was defeated in both of them. He lost 4-3 game 1, and then game 5 lost 8-7. So he had a rough time there. But the pitching overall didn't do all that great. But the hitting is where it was at because we were able to win 13-3. We were able to win 7-6, 6-4, and then 15-6 at the end. Campanella hitting his 3rd home run of the series. Stan Musial, though, hitting with 444 is what he hit, 704 slugging, 11 RBI. He takes home the MVP. Campanella got 3 home runs. Irvin got 2. Marvin Williams for them had 10 RBI and 3 home runs. Did really well, but their pitching just, you can see here, Leroy Matlock, we were able to crush. Mike Garcia, Howie Pollitt, Larry French, their ace, struggled. So victory for us. We're going to pick up another one, the 8th World Series championship for the Cardinals. We're becoming the new Yankees, it feels like. Now we got to look at the standings at the end of the year. So they did beat out the White Sox. And we'll see the league champions for every leader. So Ted Williams gets the batting title again, beating out the DiMaggio boys with a 324. But Joe DiMaggio leading the league in home runs at 35. So we are seeing an uptick in home runs somewhat. 35 home runs. And then he had 106 RBI. So Joe DiMaggio was just shy of getting the Triple Crown. Bobby Thompson with 115 RBI and Johnny Hopp for Boston getting first and third. Johnny Hopp also tied for the lead with 14 stolen bases with Hank Thompson. Joe D did get the OPS, barely beating out Ted Williams. A batter war went to Joe DiMaggio, so it looks like could be an MVP year for Joe DiMaggio there. Hitting streak, the high was 17 for Whitey Lockman. ERA goes to Ray Scarborough at 2.62. Tommy De La Cruz with 22 wins, beating out Ali Reynolds and Don Newcomb. Vic Raschi gets the strikeout crown with 168, beating out Olivo and Bo. Olivo was also third in ERA, and he had 18 wins, so another solid season for him. Saves goes to Dutch Leonard with 23. We're seeing that number starting to tick up slightly each year. And Don Newcomb with a 7.5 pitcher WAR. Wow. So he was on it with a 3.11 ERA, 147 strikeouts, 19 and 12. But he's only 24, so he's going to have a bright future ahead. George Kell took the batting title this year from Stan, the man. Stan got a 346. Kell with a 368 for the Cubs. Wow. Josh Gibson, 44 home runs. That's a massive number for us. Campanella with 37, which is better than any of his career totals. 41, 1953. I wonder if he's going to go even bigger in 1953 then. We'll find out. But Gibson at 38 may have just passed the Babe. 552. We'll go check that in just a second. Sid Gordon at 31. RBI, Stan Musial, 146. He's now had two 140 RBI seasons. He never did that in real life. Gibson had 141. Notice Gibson also hit 289. Campanella, 132. So Campanella, these are your three MVP candidates right here, I believe. Sam Jethro with 23 stolen bases, leading the league. Campanella with the OPS, followed by Musial, followed by Gibson. And then Larry Doby sneaking in there third in batter WAR. He also, not many stolen bases or anything, but just a overall good center fielder as well, probably. Stan Musial leading the league, though, with an 8.2. When we look over at the AL, what was it? 6.4. So definitely bigger season in the NL because our top three beat out their top one. Hitting streak, 20 was the number here. Majeski did have the 18 for us. ERA went to Ewell Blackwell, then Spud Chandler, and then Preacher Rowe, but 297 was the number. Luis Tiant with 26 wins, then Spahn with 24, Wynn with 24. When you win 20 more games than your next closest, you're going to see your guys show up there. Kurt Simmons had the strikeout crown. Then Warren Spahn with 179. Now, you notice he pitched 18 games. Spahn pitched 39, Wynn 38, so they are probably on a four-man rotation as well. Warren Spahn just missing out. Roy Henshaw with 22 saves, and then Spud Chandler with the pitcher WAR was 6.2. So let's take a quick look at the records and see where Gibson is on the all-time home run list. He is number one, 552. He's one better than the Babe. DiMaggio, if he can have another season, he's going to jump up into fourth. Johnny Mize is hitting 30 still a year, so he's doing quite well. Greenberg's up into 8th. Williams is already up to 10th. Hal Trotsky is still playing, kind of. He won't be around much longer. Charlie Keller is as well, but again, not going to be around much longer. Stan's going to start showing up here soon, I would imagine. Yeah, there he is, 62, 142, but he's got a long way to go. But now he's hitting some more power, so if he keeps that up, he should jump up in the next few seasons to get into the top 30, I would imagine. But we have a new home run champion. As far as the single season goes, we're still a ways away, but we are starting to see some numbers. Buck Leonard in 47, Campanella in 50. Wait, where's 1950 up here? There he is. Gibson, he's 4th and 5th and 7th. So he is challenging that one as well. So it's going to be interesting to see where we go. But we're going to get into the offseason, head to the draft and the awards, and go through that as we get ready for the 1951 season. It is time for our first-year player draft after the 1950 season here. So we're going to see who the best ones. Mickey Mantle notices back in the draft pool. He was not able to sign to the Braves, so that's rough that they may miss out on him. Eddie Broussard, Jim Bunning is in this one, so I'm not familiar with a lot of these others. Dick Stewart, okay, 200 home runs, 1,000 hits, so solid player in the early 60s for Pittsburgh, Boston, Philadelphia there. So we'll see who's out there. The Braves might get a chance to get Mantle again. They got 2 first-round picks. So first 2 picks. How nice. And here we are back in 17th. So don't think we're going to get anybody real awesome. I was looking around. We do have a few players out here, though. Jim Bunning, Rocky Colavito. There is, where are we at? Larry Jackson, Frank Torrey is in this one. Not Joe, but Frank. And then we do have, though, Maury Wills. He's only 2.5 stars, and I know he goes on to have an amazing, look at this. He's a 281 career hitter. He ends up with 2,100 hits. Stolen bases, 586. He's going to be a stolen base guy, maybe 1,000 runs. So we are looking at maybe getting him if he's still there. And there was somebody else. Was it Bob Lillis? Yeah, Bob Lillis is another one. Although his hitting's not there, he could be a solid at short for us because we are in a transition period potentially. So I don't know where we're at. As far as power goes, there's nobody out there that really... Johnny Blanchard, though, we do need another catcher to back up Campanella, so it might not be a bad idea getting him. There is a pitcher out here as well that I have my eye on that we might be able to get, and that is... Where is it? Was it Larry Jackson? Yes, it was Larry Jackson because he was a Cardinal and then a Cub in the 50s and 60s, and he has a solid 194 wins, 1,700 strikeouts, ERA of 3.4. So he's the other one that we're hoping to get. We'll see how this goes, though. I'm not too hopeful on all of these, but we'll find out how it goes. So first pick is Boston. I'm going to guess, yep, they got the Mick again. This time they will sign him, I'm sure. And then they're going to get Jim Bunning. So they just loaded up Mickey Mantle and Jim Bunning on the first 2 picks. If they don't start winning, something is drastically wrong. The Yankees are going to take Bill Moose Skowron. Bob Skinner's going to the Pirates. Rocky Colavito's still out there. Dick Stewart is going to Cleveland. Philadelphia is going to get Gene Conley. The Giants are getting Billy Huft. Larry Jackson goes to the Tigers. So we did not pick up Larry Jackson, unfortunately. Don Besant goes to the Reds. Jim Owens to the Athletics. Eddie Broussard goes to the Dodgers. Why is Rocky Colavito still out there? Lee Walls. Hal Woodschick. The White Sox get Bill Tuttle. The Cubs get Tom Brewer. Boston gets Jack Meyer. Why is Rocky Colavito still out here? He's a guy who's got 374 home runs, 266, 1,700 hits. We got to go for him, right? You can't pass up somebody that's that good. What about Hank Geyer? We could use some pitching down the road, but he's not a starter. I don't think we pass up on Rocky because we got other guys who are going to be aging out in the 50s. So, yeah, we've got to take him. He's too good to pass up. I don't know how he stayed there, but we're going to be glad he did. Now, hopefully, we will also be able to pick up. Let's go back to our batting potential. We're going to hope that we're able to get Maury Wills. I don't know if he will be, but let's go ahead and let's see. Boston gets Don Gross, Jack Urban, Worthington, Daly, Jim King, Ron Klein, Hank Geyer, Frank Torrey. Oh, boy. Oh, Maury Wills goes to the Dodgers. Couldn't quite get him. All right, well, we will wrap up the draft and we'll jump ahead to the end of the offseason. We'll go through the awards and get ready for the 1951 regular season. We are ready for opening day 1951, starting off against Pittsburgh Pirates. We are coming off of 2 straight World Series victories, 3 straight 100-win seasons, 3 straight World Series appearances. So we're going to hopefully do it again. Now, before we get started with our lineups, let's take a look at the Hall of Fame results. Martin Dihigo did get in his first year. I mean, the man, 275 wins, 3.79 ERA, pitched over 4,000 innings, 1,800 strikeouts, a 67 WAR as a pitcher. But then if we go to his batting stats, again, this was a trade that we aren't going to be sad about because he ended up batting 291 for his career, 60 as a 60 WAR. I mean, you look here, his last season, 35 games he started there, and he had 306 batting average. Like, this is as a pitcher and outfielder that he was playing two-way for a lot of this. He ended up with 247 home runs, 1,200 RBI, 2,200 hits, 1,100 runs. The man was insane. El Immortal indeed. I mean, look at this. Let's look at his 3 MVPs, Rookie of the Year, 9 Gold Gloves, 14 Silver Sluggers, a World Series MVP, 5-time World Series winner, 9-time All-Star selection. He just was amazing. And then Bill Terry on his 5th year getting in. He led the league in runs once and hits 4 straight years, 5 years total. Averaged 4 times. He hit 401 in 1929. It took him a little bit to get in, but he got in with his 2,700 hits, almost 1,300 runs, 1,100 RBI, 335 average. His OPS was 862, a 70 WAR. I mean, fantastic. Memphis Bill there. Willie Wells coming up short a little bit. The ones dropping off would be Newt Joseph, Chuck Klein, Ted Lyons didn't make it, Earl Whitehill, George Earnshaw. Those were names that had popped up periodically. But Dihigo did get in there for us, so well done. We did make a signing, Dave Barnhill, from free agency at 37 years old. Now, he's played in the majors. He played in 37 up through 44. He hasn't played the last, 7 years. He's actually been playing in the Negro Leagues for the last 5 years, and he's been doing really, really well there. So I'm hoping he can play a role in the bullpen for us. I mean, he's got lots of pitches. He's got everything's about the same. So we're going to hope he can do that. When we look like real life, he never made it to the big leagues. Our top baseball prospects of the year, Mickey Mantle's going to be number 1, followed by Willie, which he's probably going to be playing for the Braves right off the bat. Willie Mays is going to be playing for the Reds for sure. Elton Howard's up there. Wally Post for us. I forgot we had drafted him. He was listed as a pitcher, showed up in the Rule 5 draft. I quickly protected him because I forgot about him, because as a hitter is where he matters. In the 50s, starting with 53, I mean, he had several good years as an outfielder here, so we're going to hopefully capitalize on that. Not use him quite yet. We don't need him, but he's there. He's on his way up there, and Harvey Haddix is another prime one for the White Sox. Now we got to go look at the awards from the last season, and when we do, we will see AL. We have Gold Gloves going to Mike Garcia, Ken O'Day. These are some new names. Roy Cullenbine's not. Jerry Pretty, Lou Boudreau's not. Dom DiMaggio is definitely not. He's got some Hall of Fame metrics now. He's still gonna be good. So we'll see if he can add to his 1,800 hits. Led the league in hits last year. So if he can do that again, cross the 2,000 mark, cross the 1,000 runs, he's got lots of Gold Gloves. I think he's got a legitimate shot. Bob Kennedy in right field. In the NL, Harry Breachin, Aaron Robinson beating out Campanella. That's a shocker. Mickey Vernon again, Tommy Butts again, Al Rosen again, Chuck Deering, Hank Bauer for us, getting his first one. Well done, Hank. Dutch Leonard gets a unanimous Reliever of the Year award for the AL with his 23 saves, 3.16 ERA, beating out ball player Gonzalez. And then Ted Wilkes in the NL unanimously with his 12 saves, 2.33 ERA, and 11.4 record for the Cubs. Silver Sluggers in the AL go to Allie Reynolds, Yogi Berra, Roy Cullenbine, Hank Thompson, Bob Elliott, Alvin Dark, Ted Williams again, Joe DiMaggio again, and Johnny Hopp. So we know DiMaggio is going to be making the haul. He's already cleared everything. It's just a matter of how high does he finish. He's still got several years, it looks like. Ted, the same thing. He's getting the RBIs and the walks. Well, no, he's not even getting the RBIs, but he's getting the walks and the hits, but he's just not on the offensive juggernaut. If he were batting with us, he'd be scoring more runs. So that's a shame. In the NL, Silver Sluggers go to Ed Lopat. Roy Campanella does get the Silver Slugger again. His third one, beating out Josh Gibson. Billy Goodman, Jackie Robinson again, George Kell again, Al Rosen, Stan Musial yet again, Larry Doby, and Ron Northey. In the offseason, the Phillies were trying to trade us Larry Doby a couple times, but they wanted a lot for him, so we declined. Rookie of the Year in the AL went in a very tight one. More first-place votes went to Walt Dropo with his 20 home runs, 95 RBI, 281 average, but Ned Garver, 10-7, 2 saves, 3.3 ERA. Interesting, beating out. And Gus Bell also for the Tigers. So the Tigers, 3 up here for Rookie of the Year, have a bright future. In the NL, Don Lenhart unanimously with 20 home runs, only 50 RBI on 20 home runs. Wow. In the Cy Young in the AL goes to Olivo, 10 first place votes to 2. Larry French finishing in third. So Olivo, 2.87 ERA. I mean, he's having his peak right now. These last 4 years, he's been very, very good. We'll see how long it lasts. In the NL, Spud Chandler beating out our guy Preacher Rowe and our guy Luis Tiant and our guy Early Win and our guy Warren Spahn. But Spud Chandler is going to get his due. It's deserved. It is his first one, but he's had several good seasons, and now he finally gets to take one home. Good for him. Joe DiMaggio, unanimous MVP winner. He almost won the Triple Crown this season. He gets the MVP instead. In the NL, not unanimous. 2 teammates fighting it out, but Musial gets yet another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with 4 of those being in a row. He's been amazing. And so Stan the man indeed. Gibson was 4th. Easterling was up there as well. So Phil Rizzuto getting some votes, and so is Preacher Rowe and Tiant. So good for them. That's where we stand going into the season. Our lineup looks as such. The main one will be Phil Rizzuto at short, Carl Furillo in right field, Stan Musial in left, Campanella at catcher. Greenberg is going to start at first base this year because we're going to see if he can capitalize on what he did last year. His contact's down, but Gibson's has been down as well. So maybe with his eye and that slugging, he can just drive that ball out and pick up 30 or so home runs at age 40. Vic Wertz is going to be at right field, Eddie Stanky at second base, and Hank Majeski at third. We'll have Warren Spahn, Luis Tiant again, 44 years old, Preacher Rowe, and Early Win. Satchel Paige is going to be our closer again, hopefully picking up that new role, although he does have some stamina, so we might move him. Look at all these pitches. So we might move him back up. You might be thinking, what about Monte Irvin? He's going to get lots of playing time as well, but he's competing with Musial and Furillo and Vic Wertz, who's having possibly a career. Hank Bauer is also there. So we've got a tight one. Then Roy Sievers is sitting on the bench. So Ray Dandridge still hitting well. Eddie Robinson hitting well. So we're set. It's just a matter of where are we going to let Monte Irvin get in there to get a chance to shine after his 306 season. But that's where we stand at the beginning and opening day. So we'll catch you back up at the All-Star break. Well, at the All-Star break this year, it is not a runaway. We are tied with the Cubs, 6 games up on the Phillies and the Braves, and the Reds are 7, both of them. Much tighter race this time. They were even closer, and we've been bouncing around between first and third. Offensively, we aren't scoring the runs. We're hitting the home runs this time, but we're not getting the runs in, even though we're on base more than anybody else. Pitching, ERAs are doing great, but the defense is a little weaker. Probably because, we have Greenberg. Oh, no, he's fine. But Monte Irvin, we did get in there for Vic Wertz. So we made some changes. Greenberg's been doing well. He's just hit a rough patch, but he's been driving in runs. He's been hitting the home runs and protecting Campanella and Musial. But He's not having the year that he was. All of our hitters are down a little bit this year. When we look at the standings, the Philadelphia Athletics are running away right now with the AL. Everybody else is bunched up really nice and tight, while the Brooklyn Dodgers are way at the bottom looking for some help. But they don't really have anybody there because Pesky is like 31 and not somebody that Eddie Yost is 24 coming up there. Wally Westlake is falling off, it looks like. So they're going to be drafting high and hopefully getting, Hammer and Hank or somebody coming along really soon. Our leaders at the midway point, George Crow, 320, Enos Slaughter, 319, and Dom DiMaggio at 317. So Dom is pushing for that Hall of Fame recognition. Ralph Kiner has 21 home runs. Irv Noren is up there with 15. And Bradford Bennett, a couple of new names for us. Kiner's leading in RBI at 63. His average, though, is only 254. He's a slugger. Duke Snyder is up there, 56 RBI at the break, so he's starting to show up at 24 years old. Stolen bases, 14 for Fernando Pedroza. OPS goes to Kiner. It's a much lower OPS this year. Yogi Berra's up there as well. Batter WAR is just at 3 right now with Elmer Vallo and Buster Clarkson. Berra's right behind him. The high hitting streak is 16 games. ERA lead is at 1.68 for Billy Pierce and a 1.8 for Ray Brown. No wonder these guys aren't hitting well. Ray Brown has 14 wins, but Allie Reynolds has 101 strikeouts. There's Don Newcomb and Vic Raschi. People who have been up, got a couple of guys who have been up there. Lou Brissy is leading the way with 11 saves, and Billy Pierce and Larry French both have a 5 in the WAR category. On the NL side, Dick Siebert has a 336 average. Our guy Phil Rizzuto's at 316. Josh Gibson with 22 home runs is slugging his way. He's aiming for 600. He's past 2,000 RBI. He's aiming for 3,000 hits, and he's aiming for 600 home runs. If he keeps this, there's no reason to see why he wouldn't. He's crushing it. We'll see what he can do because the home runs are starting to fly now. Gibson's also leading in RBI at 65. Stolen bases go at 18 for Sam Jethro. Jackie's up there in 13, and Ashburn's at 14. OPS is still much lower. Gibson, then Robinson, then Sushik. Batter WAR goes to Robinson at 5.2, much higher than the AL. The best hitting streak is Phil Rizzuto with 20. Easterling's got an active one at 15. ERA, not as low, but still very low. Joe Dobson at 2.3. Robin Roberts at 2.4. Showing up, 82 strikes to 33 walks. We have somebody with command now. Joe Black, 2.44 ERA. Spud Chandler, Robin Roberts tied for wins with Preacher Rowe right behind him. Strikeouts goes to Kurt Simmons and then Early Wynn, who has 20 less innings than Kurt Simmons does. But he is setting them down. Then we got Ted Wilkes with 16 saves. He might be setting a record this year. And Satchel Paige with 9, but he has a 1.43 ERA. He's walking a lot of people, though. 6-0 wins. Record. And then Tiant is third, but 3.9 is the high with Kurt Simmons at pitcher WAR. So we're going to have a tight one going down the stretch here. We'll see how it plays out. Before we go much farther, I forgot we haven't looked at our all-star team. So in the AL, we have Ray Brown being noted as a starter. Ewell Blackwell again, Larry French. Newhouser is there still. He's slowing down, but he's doing heck of a career. He should be up there. Yeah, he's got his metrics showing up. Who else we got? We got Olivo having another solid year. Jumbo Brown is there again. Ballplayer Gonzalez. Yogi Berra getting the start. Roy Cullenbine getting the start. Roy Patterson. Bob Elliott. Buster Clarkson. Ralph Kiner's back in there. Ted Williams gets the start, though. So does Joe DiMaggio. His brother's not up there. Enos Slaughter gets the start instead. Wild Bill Wright. Great name. Showing up for the first time at 37 years old. What has he been doing? He's just been kind of around. Led the league in hitting. What? Wow. So he was a Negro League player in the 40s. He's still going. Why did he not get more playing time with those? That's surprising. Just didn't have a spot for him. That's sad. Could have had a lot more of those. In the NL, we've got Joe Black, Spud Chandler, Robin Roberts. I mean, this team is stacked. Warren Spahn for us. Tiant gets the start. Early Win for us. Satchel Paige for us. Campanella getting the start over Gibson again. Barris Fain is showing back up. Greenberg. There we go. Hammer and Hank getting another all-star appearance. Jackie Robinson, Howard Easterling, Pee Wee Reese, and Phil Rizzuto side by side. Al Rosen as well. Stan Musial, of course, getting it. Larry Doby, Willie Mays showing up, and Hank Bauer. So Mays has his first one in his first year. He's got 309, 42 RBI, 6 home runs, 94 hits, 43 runs. I mean, Yeah, he's 4-4 WAR. He's going to be a monster. We know that. Will he duplicate? So his first year was 1951. He had 20 home runs, and 52 was a down year, barely played, it looks like. And then he erupted in 54. So is he going to be that 600 home run guy or not? We've seen, it's right, he hit 43 in the minors last year. So we'll see. He's at 6 this year. We'll see how it goes. And then Hank Bauer getting the nod, hitting 342, 356 at the time that announcement. He's hitting 342 after a 354 year. Not a lot of games started, though, so I'm surprised he gets that. But good for Hank. Okay, now we're going to go to the postseason. Well, we made it through 1951, and we had a amazing second half while the Cubs fell off like a rock. They were 5 games ahead of us at one point, and now we end up 13 games, almost getting a 100-win season again. Second half was amazing for us. Luis Tiant got hurt, so we actually moved Dave Barnhill up, and he was pitching even better than this for a while. Preacher Rowe, we moved back. Even though he's doing great, he wasn't doing as well as our other ones once Tiant got healed. Barnhill actually had a no-hitter in one of his games. Hank Greenberg, you can see 28 home runs, 264 average, 85 RBI. He did great. Furillo with 100 RBIs, batting 8th, hitting 306. Monte Irvin had a solid season. He didn't get the RBIs really, but that's because I guess Hank can't run maybe. Campanella hit 100 RBI again. Musial did not because he was hurt for 5 weeks. So you can see he had only 119 games played as opposed to his normal 150. So who knows where he would have made it. Eddie Stanky, 273 average, but a 404 on base percentage. So he's just fantastic for us at getting on base. And then Phil Rizzuto, again, leading us off very well at the top. And you can see pitching wise, we did well. So we dominated everything outside of stolen bases and base running. And our defense was solid. So everything was going great for us. And we're going to see how it goes in the World Series. We're going to be going up against the Philadelphia Athletics, who were 89-65 to our 99-55. We can see the standings. They won their league by 8 games over the Browns, and then the White Sox and the Red Sox. We won by 13 games running away. More teams are above 500 this time. The Dodgers just beaten, and so are the Yankees. 2 New York teams just getting pounded there. So we're going to be going up against them. They were second in their league in the AL in runs scored with 716. We had way more than that in the NL, and we allowed fewer than they did, but they were second as well in the AL. Now, when we look at team history, this is their first one since 1948 where they won. I believe they beat us in that one. And so we're looking for a little revenge here after winning back-to-back. We're trying to win a third in a row. Yeah, we're trying to win a third in a row. They were the last ones to beat us. So we're going to hopefully stop that this time. They have Ewell Blackwell and Ray Brown. Who else do they have on their team here? Duke Snyder is going to be leading off. They got Connie Ryan, Ralph Kiner, and Duke Snyder on the same team, and Hank Thompson. That's a heck of a lineup. So we'll see how we do. But we do have Musial and Campanella and the likes. So they are looking, like I said, for their first one since 1948, 5th overall. We're looking for a 9th overall. We've won 8 out of 13. They've won 4 out of 8. Let's see how it goes. Well, once again, the Philadelphia Athletics were too much for us, and they beat us in 5 games, 4-1. They won the first one 4-1, beating Spahn, who struggles in the World Series. They won 5-0 in the second one, beating with Ewell Blackwell leading the way, who's been dominant the last few years. And then we came back to win 10-2 with Campanella and Musial both homering. Early win, had a great complete game, but then they beat us 10-3. Tiant got roughed up there, and then they again defeated us again 7-6 with Wilhelm actually getting the loss for us. And it was rough, and Sam Hairston ends up with the World Series MVP, batting .350, 4 RBIs, 7 hits. It just was not meant to be. We couldn't get the bats going, and they pounded away at our pitching. So unfortunately, came up short again, but congratulations to the A's on that one. So let's take a look at our final leaders in the categories before we wrap this episode up. And we'll see from there. So Man. Okay, so the batting average in the AL, Yogi Berra, 341 by quite a bit over Dom DiMaggio, who is definitely, did he hit he's 2 hits shy of 2,000. So as long as he has another year, he'll definitely hit that. And I think he'll end up making the Hall of Fame because of his defense as well. Ralph Kiner with 39 home runs. Ted Williams had 25. Only hit 297, but he had 106 RBIs, which was enough for second. So Kiner got first in both of those. Bobby Thompson with 24. He only hit 266, so he's not going to be a Triple Crown winner, that's for sure. But he helped win the World Series. Wild Bill Wright had 20 stolen bases to lead the league. Ted Williams at 954 OPS, barely beating out Ralph Kiner. Yogi Berra had the high in WAR, though, at 6.7. Hitting streak was Dom DiMaggio's 21. ERA at a 2.02 to Billy Pierce from Cleveland. Wow, 21-13 record with that. 153 strikeouts. Ray Brown gets the wins, with 22 wins, beating out Billy Pierce barely. Don Newcomb, who had 20 wins, 170 strikeouts, 3.2 ERA. Vic Raschi and Allie Reynolds tied for 157. Ballplayer Gonzalez, there he is with 20 saves. This guy is, he's doing great. It's going to be interesting. I kept tabs on him because he has real life statistics. 3 games pitched in the Negro Leagues, but they don't have a real name for him, so it's interesting. Then pitcher WAR, Larry French with an 8.1 WAR. Now, in the NL, even though he missed 5 weeks, Dan Musial came back and was able to get the batting average title with 315, barely beating out Willie Mays in his rookie year. Wonder who's going to win Rookie of the Year. And Don Mueller, both at 314. Josh Gibson with 36 home runs, beating out Sushik with 33, and Don Lenhart with 31. Gibson is now up to 2,951 hits, 400 doubles, 100 triples, 588 home runs. One more year of anything like what he's done the last several, he's going to pass 600. He's over 2,000 RBI. He's at 1,600 runs. He's been hitting 294. He's led the league in RBIs 3 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, leading the league in home runs. He just led the league in slugging again for the 4th time, OPS 1 time. He's amazing. So good for him. So Gibson also 119 RBI, like I said, beating out Lenhart again, and Andy Pafko, who's just quietly been putting up good numbers. I've noticed like these last few years, he's been getting the home runs. His average has been okay. He's been getting 20 doubles a year, 150 hits or so a year. He's just playing for the Cubs, so it's holding him back. Then we've got stolen bases goes to Sam Jethro at 35. He is led the league twice in a row. He's getting bigger and bigger. Roy Campanella gets the OPS. Musial and Mays and Musial behind him. Willie Mays with a 9.3 batter WAR. Jackie was close behind him at 3.04 batting average and 12 home runs. Larry Doby then third at 264, 102 RBI, 17 home runs. Monte Irvin had the high hitting streak of 25 games, and Phil Rizzuto was behind him at 20. Joe Black with the ERA title, 2.70. Early win for us, 2.95. Spud Chandler, 2.93, also winning the wins race and 160 strikeouts to boot. Kurt Simmons had 194. Early win, was so close. Third in ERA, tied for first in wins. Second in strikeouts by 4. 328. He pitched 3 more innings, so we can't say it was that. Preacher Rowe would have maybe been up there in strikeouts, but we stopped pitching him, and he came out of the bullpen instead because he was the odd man out. Ted Wilkes with 23 saves. Satchel Paige had 16 for us. Struggled in the World Series again. And Larry Jansen was a 7.3 WAR. So that wraps up 1950 and 1951. We are going to start the next episode and go through 1952, 53, and 54. And we will start with the player draft there and wrap up the postseason to see the awards and all of that. But hope you've been enjoying this series. If you have been, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And we will catch you on the next episode of this Legends in the Making playthrough.